and ITMO is one of the best universities in Russia. Next presentation is about arts. Previously, you could steal a painting, you could hide it in your personal collection, and nothing would happen to you. And I can see this in the audience, that this is what you used to do. I can understand, I can see the sentiment. And you did not feel any guilt. But now the time has changed. Not only the technology is used by general population, but it's also used by scammers, by con artists. Obviously, there are different pluses and minuses, and you can benefit from new technologies. Even now, even if you take a photo online, you post it, maybe you post something online and you'll be able to reveal digital footprint for potential scammers, for people who steal art. And it will be, the presentation will be given by Ria, an independent expert in the area of art crime. Ria, you have the stage. Hello everyone, I'm glad to welcome you here on the beautiful spring, almost summer night or summer evening. I'll be talking about the internet, obviously. I'll be talking about people, and I'll be talking about very egocentric people who made a minor mistake, and you'll be able to learn how they were caught. A few words about myself. My name is Ria. I'm OSINT GeoInt specialist, I'm art crime expert, and I'm also a product designer. And when people want me to describe what I do is OSINT, art crime, and design. And you have to love what you do. There is so much information about painters, about arts, about rights. Anything goes. And usually this is a lot to learn, a lot to know, and you have to love it. What exactly is art crime? Those are investigations connected with the crimes in the world of art. You might think it's just about paintings, but that's not exactly true. We are talking about illegal artifact trade. We are talking about forgery of paintings, maybe fake paintings, and obviously smuggling of the aforementioned artifacts. And if you might think that not so much money is here, but actually the shadow market for art crime is 8 billions of dollars per year, according to the Interpol report. And if you still think that's not too much, it ranks third after drugs and weapons. So quite a lot in comparison. Maybe when somebody says that art theft is something different, you might imagine what do we have here is movies, maybe headhunters or whatever. People try to smuggle and steal another Rembrandt painting. But that's not exactly true. So once again, this is a screenshot from Headhunters. It looks idealized, it looks romantic, but in real life it's different. Some people might think that it looks like a TV series Berlin, where you have this very detailed plan on how you want to take this painting from the museum, or that. I do not really recommend watching this TV series in terms of art crime, but it has other positive points. So you might watch if you have nothing better to watch. So we will talk about art theft in Rotterdam. There is a Kuphau Museum in Rotterdam. It focuses on assembled collections from different museums. They collect different paintings from different museums, and they give a presentation, give an exhibition from this multiple paintings. And as you can see, this happened 13 years ago, 2012. Here we can see the result. Maybe the policeman went around, maybe someone got inside by breaking the window. Criminals took out 7 paintings in 3 minutes. That's very, very fast. In 5 minutes, when the police came, no one was there to catch. And one important thing, thieves took the paintings from the wall and they just took them outside. They did not cut it off the frame. So the paintings did not lose their values. If we take a look at what was stolen, then the combination is rather weird. As a result, experts believe that it was maybe a custom crime. So, because those pictures are very similar. It's Harley Quinn by Picasso, it's Hogan and Matisse, Manet, and even Lucienne Freud, this woman with closed eyes. By the way, Lucienne Freud is grandchild of Sigmund Freud, and Lucienne Freud actually is a very expensive painter. In total, those paintings amount to about $100 million, maybe 120, maybe 100, but in this range. Why do I talk about this theft? Right after this event, exactly all the media published these paintings, this slide. And thanks to that, criminals were caged. They could not do anything. So they laid down for a while in Romania, and those paintings were saved there for a while. Then a Romanian art dealer got them. He realized exactly what these paintings came from. He went to the police and he told that he was contacted by criminals. Here you can see photos of 2 people. First is Radu Dagaru and one of his associates. The theft was completed by 6 people. One is the main perpetrator by the name of Radu Dagaru in the black t-shirt. The police was able to find them very fast, but then it was kind of very interesting. The criminals changed their testimonies again and again. They had new details a while after a while. And the police even came to Olga Dagaru, mother of Radu Dagaru, and she said that she was afraid for the destiny of her son, and she burned a few paintings. And it was true. They took the remains, the ashes from her stove, and it seemed like it was true, but then later she said that she actually did not do this. So it was not clear what actually happened to the paintings. The criminals were imprisoned to 6-7 years, and it seems like a happy ending, except for nobody actually found the paintings, so they are still at large. Another case, 2023, Ital Gradel and British Museum. Here we have resale of artifacts and different antique elements, antique artifacts. And when we're talking about people who are collectors, they want to get items in their collections. And one of the ways to improve, let's say, your collection is go to eBay. On eBay, he was able to find this beautiful human being. Here we can see an old kami, an old carved stone, and it's sold by Sultan 1966. Ital Gradel buys this, and he was told that these carved stones were from the collection from his grandfather, but for some reason he made a few mistakes about his grandfather's age, so that was one of the reasons to become suspicious of this trade. And one of the peculiarities for Ital Gradel is that he has eidetic memory. And it's very important for him to have this photo memory. He remembers all the card stones that he saw before, and he can remember everything before and after that. And suddenly he is struck that he actually saw this card stone before, and he saw it in the collection of the British Museum. So the question now, why is it on eBay and costs £15? So it is funny, but not funny, because when those artifacts were bought, they actually didn't know how much they actually cost. As a result of his investigation, and he actually played the detective role, he went to the PayPal, to the address, and as a result of this investigation, you can see this person with the sculpture. He called himself Peter Higgins. He is the head of the antique art in the British Museum. And as a co-job, as a side gig, he was selling this art on eBay. And to make things even worse, he was appraising those artifacts. So on the one hand, he was the head of the department, he was appraising these artifacts, and at the same time, he was selling them online. And if you pay a little bit attention, you can see the similarities between what you can see on the British Museum magazines and the catalogs, and this is what happened with Vital Gradel. He was able to remember how those pictures looked like because of his eidetic memory. The British Museum declined that they were at fault, and then they were able to find that 35 artifacts, well, a few hundred artifacts were actually stolen from the British Museum, and they are not sure where exactly those pieces of art are at the moment. Peter Higgins does not work at the British Museum at the same time right now, but we don't really know what really happened there, but we can assume. Next point, on Twitter, when you go through the Twitter feed, Adam Vasikevich, an art connoisseur from the UK, and he saw a very peculiar painting. As you can see, it's a very interesting painting. It's a half-circular top for the painting, and it was custom made because they had columns with an arch, and for it to fit perfectly there, they made it not square or rectangular, but half-circular. But now try and look the lost painting of Henry VIII. Here you can see a photo on Twitter from some party. And this is not art related, this is just something people just wanted to have a good time. And you can see it here on the screen. Because of this half-circular frame, you can see this Henry VIII painting. And he said this is not the first time he was able to find a lost painting. He was able to find a different painting on a very well-known social media, very well-known social media like Facebook or LinkedIn, and he was able to find one of the pictures by painters from the 17th century. Here is another example. Maybe you know about different auction houses, and one of them is Sotheby's, and it's a very famous one, and we will talk about Sotheby's. Before they are sold,
И каталог был опубликован, его случайно...
And they are published in the catalog, and one of the employees of Gavers Museum took a look, and he saw the lost
Я специально сходила...
paintings that was stolen a few decades ago.
Но сейчас ее там нет, потому что министерство...
But now it's not there because the Ministry of
И
France
картину вернули как
asked Sotheby
культурную ценность.
to return
Она
this
по оценкам 350
painting as a national artifact, as a cultural artifact. It costs $350, maybe $450,000. It might not be the best work by Degas, but it's very interesting that it was stolen from Gover Museum, and it was found by another employee from the same museum. It was the painting called La Blanchisseuse by Edgar Degas.
Но я вот не особо сильно знаю. Вот вам вдохновляющий
And maybe you don't really know what to do, what to look, and there is Clifford Schorer. He is
между нами
there on Clifford Schorer.
Честно говоря, завидую. Он
He has great photos,
И Клиффорд Шорер самого
and he looks great on these photos. And
искусством как бы
he did on his own. He self-educated himself.
как бы развивался, и сейчас он признанный
He developed for a long time, and now he's a acclaimed expert. He works with so-called sleeping paintings. Every painter has certain works which are not known to the wider audience. And these are very difficult to manage because you have to have certain reasons to believe that this painting is by Rembrandt or by Picasso. And this is what Clifford Schorer does. He looks for the history of those obscure paintings. And he was able to find a painting by Agrikamp by going to print shop. And print shops are stores where you can go, you can upload your image, and you can print maybe on a pillow, maybe on a t-shirt, maybe on a mug. You can print your images on different objects. And the person who uploaded your image, and usually have to upload their own images, but if other people use these images, they would get certain revenue. It cost $18 for this pillow.
Он начал смотреть, и тут он вдруг понял.
He started to look deeper into it, and he realized that it was by a Dutch painter, Averkamp. So how can this be in this very good quality? Then it was stolen. It is considered lost for a while, and the internet does not have good quality copies because the theft occurred before the digital photos or internet. So only the person who has the physical painting can upload this. And he went to investigate this, and the painting actually cost $10 million, so there was a reason. First, he went through reverse image to make sure it was a painting by Averkamp. He learned that it was stolen from Robert Soders, a former mentor from Worcester Museum of Arts at Massachusetts, and he learned that this photo was taken years after the theft. He went through the history of the painting to learn people who owned it, and he went even until 1995. And it was sold under the name of Barend Averkamp to a Dutch couple. He contacted this Dutch couple, and he said that they have a stolen painting, but he did not get any response. Because when people buy paintings, this is an investment. People buy paintings for a reason. They select whatever they want, whatever they like. So most people don't really want to give away whatever they invested in, even if they know it was stolen before. And now they are in the investigation, they are in the communication phase where paintings are stolen and they reside in personal collections, but at least they located the physical location of that painting.
Симпатичная картина. Человек на фото вот этом черно-белом — это Анри Матисс.
And finally,
Вот тоже фотография.
it's
Что ж произошло?
Caracas Museum in Mexico. It's a painting by Matisse. In 2019, a painting was brought to the
Пытались ее
employees of FBI.
какое-то время назад. Ее якобы украли из музея.
They were trying to buy this painting, and this painting disappeared a few years ago. It was stolen from a museum. So why did they start looking for it?
В музее это подделка.
The experts realized that whatever was in the museum was a fake painting. And guess
Вот можете загадать, простите.
where is the original and where is the fake one?
Кто победил?
Guess the left one or the right one.
Загадываем. Раз, два, три. Так. Кто угадал?
So
Правильно, да. Вот зеленый.
yes,
Это оригинальная картина, а с красным
with the green check is the original on the left and the fake is on the right.
и провисела 10
And
в музее. Как
it was not painted with oil, it was
картины ставишь рядом,
using acrylic
они прям отличаются.
paintings and acrylic paints. And you can actually see the difference once you put them side by side.
Что подлинно, как бы.
But whatever is in the museum is the true painting, as we know. So once FBI brought the copy of this painting, the fake painting, the person who was selling them said that they actually know that it was a fake one, but they still want to sell it for a few hundred millions. But obviously, they were not able to do that, and they went to the places they belong, and the real painting was brought back to the museum, and everything is finally we had a happy ending.
Помимо картин, которые крадут, подделывают, что
But it's not just about paintings, it's about other artifacts and pieces of art. And one of them is Viole Pardessus.
Посмотрите внимательно.
I talked about this in my blog, but take a look at the paintings. Maybe there is something peculiar about it. Well, the thing is that how women hold this
Немножко другим способом.
violin. And usually you hold the violin in a different way. But it's not actually violin, it's a viola da gamba.
Дам и
During
красивых
that time of 16th, 17th century,
было затруднительно.
you were not able to play violin like this,
Настоящий способ игры для
placing it on the shoulder. And it seemed like it was not the correct way to play for aristocracy, because this is how peasants played. And there was a different instrument with a lower
несколько там виола да гамма.
sound. It was called viola, and they had viola da gamba and viola pardessus. And this is how women played this instrument. So now let's consider this story.
Анализа Папанова.
There is a
Как раз на обложке
Лиза Папанова.
исполняем
You can see this on the cover of a disc,
инструментах.
and she plays ancient musical instruments. She has viola da gamba in hands. The number of strings is different, and the pitch is also different for viola pardessus and viola da gamba. She was looking for
Себе экземпляр
among the customers, among the
более редкое. Ее
where to buy the viola pardessus because it's more rare. It produces different sound, and it's an absolutely amazing piece of art for Annalisa. And she was able to find it. She got the image from her friend, and she was told that this is probably what you're looking for. And it looks great.
Сама скрипка в замечательном состоянии.
The violin is in top-notch condition.
Можно играть. Что Анализа, собственно,
You can use it and you can play it. And this is what Annalisa did.
всем своим друзьям об этой своей прекрасной покупке.
And then she
Очень рады
told her friends about this purchase. And one of
истории
these friends who
музыкальных инструментов
works as
помнил, что как-то
a
очень
historian with musical instruments. And he said that this instrument looks very similar.
брюссельский
He
музей
decided to go to the British Museum of Musical Instruments that published their collections online. It's actually a very good way to learn about collections. You don't have to go anywhere physically, you can just do it online. You sit comfortably at home and you look through these violins. And on the left is exactly what we have here. Annalisa did not believe it at first. She did not want to believe it at first, and she wanted to compare them to find the different differences. And there were some, a few notches, a few scratches, but you could tell that it was the same violin. Once she went and addressed this to the Museum of Musical Instruments, it turned out that this violin was stolen quite a while ago, but somehow it was found. Annalisa, on the one hand, says that it was kind of difficult for her to make this decision. She played the concert before she gave it away for the instrument, but you cannot play a stolen musical instrument and bring joy to people. And she said that it does not align with her moral compasses, with her moral compass, and she had to give it back to the museum. And according to the law of Belgium, it does not have any time of expiration. Whatever happened before, she had to bring it back to the museum, according to the law. And once again, this had a happy ending. And just look at the curvature, look at all the elements for this violin. Looks absolutely amazing. Now, let's take a look at how we look for fakes. I've been talking about arts experts and people who do this, and you can do this yourself. You can do it at home. If you see something peculiar, or you're not sure what kind of painting you have here, and you go to Google Images and you look for it. Maybe use Google Lens and Google Images, and then you can do this later. So Google is a very good tool. Next, there are museum archives, and so many museums now upload their collections, images of their collections online, and this is a very good way to learn about those images, about those collections in high definition, and maybe select where you want to go physically. And many of those paintings are in public domain, and you can print absolutely legally using those paintings, but you have to consult if they are in public domain or not. Maybe they are protected by copyright. Next point, you have to be very attentive, and it is true. As you can see, many cases are solved simply because somebody started. It seems suspicious, and they started to learn a little bit more about this, and it turned out that this hunch was correct. And finally, you can look for people who do the same, for example, using Reddit. You can go there, you can ask other people and use hive mind approach to solve those problems. It doesn't mean that you'll be able to find something unique that was not found for years, but sometimes you can have beautiful stories and just expand your personal horizon and awareness and knowledge about our world.
К сожалению, здесь у меня, наверное, на сегодня все.
I believe that's all I wanted to tell you about. I have a channel where I talk about these similar stories. Here's the QR code on the screen. You can subscribe to the channel and see what kind of stories I publish there. You can also reach me via email. Sometimes I read, sometimes I reply, sometimes in details with your answer. So thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.
Еще вопрос какой-то.
Wow, I'm absolutely amazing. I'm absolutely amazed here. Hope you really like the presentation. But by the way, Ria, I have a comment.
Ситуация была, да? Мы же тут
We had a situation
Иногда, да.
with artificial intelligence. We use AI for cybersecurity, but also for life.
ситуация, где
So the situation was
да?
Да.
Да.
there were images printed on pillows.
И не позавчера, потому
And
что я бы, например, зайдя
probably it happened a while ago, because when I went into the print shop and I saw, but actually this painting was stolen a few years ago, I would say that one of the
вот как вы
LLMs
тут ответите?
actually improved this image. because this is what they can do.
На самом деле.
Если
Он
не
же не
поверил,
был уверен.
The person actually went to Google Images and Google Lens just to make sure it was correct.
Потому что я знаю, что
Well,
всё дорисовано.
yeah, I think in my cases, I believe that AI improves the paintings.
Работам.
I took a look at different images
Могу сказать,
by
что
AI
много
according to the style of famous painters, and you can see that something is wrong there. There are some details, so maybe AI is not there yet. You think so?
тот день недалек.
Well, I think maybe there will be the time where AI will
Известных мастеров, но пока
complete and create new paintings in the style of Van Gogh on other masters. But sometimes it's still a little bit off.
мы
не
можем
написано было.
посмотреть.
What year was it? We can look.
Буквально
It was actually quite.
10 лет.
It's quite recent, within the last 50 years, right? We are very advanced now with all the AI, and that person didn't know about that
Не за...
because AI is very fast. Thank you so much. Ria is the